All right, Noah, can you tell us what kind of research the Life Course Development Program does?
So Life Course Development Program, the primary goal of our research is to expand our knowledge of social relationships across the lifespan, and to examine also how these associations of our relationships are important and have implications for a whole range of health outcomes. So physical health, mental health, cognitive health, and also our longevity, so how long we expect to live via the benefit of our social relationships. And some other key aspects that we look at are we examine a variety of relationships. So we examine from family members, immediate family members, such as children, spouse partners, also a range of types of friendship relationships. Also our neighbors, how do they influence our health and well-being in key important ways. We also seek to investigate how different aspects of relationships matter or potentially are harmful for our health and well-being. So we look at the types of support we receive, but also conflict in relationships. We know that is important in key ways. But also how different aspects that we refer to as the structure of relationships, so that's like the size of our social network, how many people we feel close to, but also the different aspects like how often we're in contact with them. And then we're also interested in how these associations between our relationships and our health and well-being vary across key dimensions, such as key demographic factors like age, sex, race, ethnicity, education, but also how key contexts in our lives influence this link between our relationships, but also develop key aspects of our relationships, such as the key roles that we hold in our life, such as if we're a parent, a caregiver, a volunteer, but also the environments that we live in, such as our neighborhood context or the housing that we live in are important factors. And we think of our research in life course development as interdisciplinary, so it's contributions from sociology, psychology, media sciences, economics, and others as well. We also use multiple methods in our research. So primarily we use surveys, which makes sense. We're in the Survey Research Center. And we utilize a measurement tool that's been developed here in the Life Course Development Program called the hierarchical mapping technique to understand the content of our social relationships. Who do we feel close and important to? And also our research more recently has been delving into interventions, so how we can think about utilizing and leveraging our social relationships to promote health and well-being. For example, I'm doing some research in lower income senior housing communities to understand how our relationships between the individuals in the building can spread the social contagion of health behaviors in those contexts. And we're also looking to explore other avenues to leverage social relationships in key important ways in our lives.
So you've told us a lot, but is there anything that you would like to tell us that you think people don't know that they should know about the Life Course Development Program?
Gotcha. Well, I want to key in on some of these aspects about relationships, and in particular that our relationships, different ones in our lives, have key and profound effects on our life, but also how long we live. So in particular, some of ours as well as others' research in the field of social relations have found that social relationships matter for how long we live, above and beyond things that we assume are important, like smoking, exercise, and it actually had a stronger effect than those individual level behaviors. So what a key takeaway we want people to know and think about with relationships, which I think many people do already, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of people realized the importance of the relationships when they could not access them, is that we think about our relationships as a resource. So similar to how we might think about financial planning when we get older, I want to argue that people should also think about social planning, thinking about how can you sustain your relationships in your life and have key avenues to be socially engaged. And we often get a question about, is it family relationships or friend relationships that matter most for health and well-being? And our answer is both. Really, it's in the mix that matters. So ensuring that you have a variety of ties, such as those weak ties that might be friends or neighbors, we've been finding are really key and important for maintaining cognitive health in later life. But it's those close emotional, usually family ties that are really essential and critical when people have health needs later in life, such as maintaining physical, functional independence later in life. So it's really about maintaining that mix and ensuring that you have a good plan for ensuring social engagement later in life, whether it's through taking on roles such as volunteering, taking on new activities, which could expand your social network at a time when it's been shown to be really important and helpful.
Yeah, really important. What do you do when you're not here, Noah, that you'd like to share?
Well, two activities that I enjoy doing that are sort of interrelated, and one is doing backpacking, and another one is landscape photography. So I sort of intertwine the two. So I've gone and done backpacking in places like New Zealand or in the Adirondack Mountains. I grew up in upstate New York, and it's been on a little bit of hiatus for doing the overnight backpacking trips lately because I have a 3-year-old, so we've been doing more day trips locally in the state of Michigan, but I hope to get him out on the trail and doing some overnight backpacking in the near future.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you, Pam.
Yay.